hoping to convert this Australian stock saddle into a seat for my electric unicycle. Seems pretty crazy, but that's what I'm planning to do next level. I think these knee pads will be awesome. Might have to make some modifications here. I'm thinking what I'm going to need to do is strip away this. I'll have to take these off that the stirrups hang from. Don't need those. And take this piece of leather out of here, and then probably narrow this down here and take all this away, all this padding away, and just have padding at the rear, because you'll need that for where the unicycle, that'll sit straight on top of the unicycle. But I'm going to have some sort of a bracket here which will mount onto the front, so I'm going to have it mounted onto the handle at the front. So this will have a metal bracket going up which will mount onto the front of the unicycle, hopefully. Anyway, I'm just making it up as I've gone along because no one else has ever done this, I'm pretty sure. But I reckon it's going to look pretty awesome when I get it fitted properly. I think I'm going to try and leave these things on here, the outside ones, but take the inside ones out. I'll also have to take, without getting into the leather too much there, get the angle grinder into there and cut that thing off. So that's sort of out the way a bit, and it'll give a little bit more narrowness there. And from the inside I'll be able to have a look at it. I don't know. I really know nothing about saddles except what I've seen on YouTube. Initially I think the back, this is a fairly solid mounting point here at the back that's attached to the tree. I can have zip ties down to the back of the unicycle, so this here is going to sit pretty much middle. I think from my experience it needs to sit somewhat at the height of that is the height of the pommel. Then you can use this back pad here for serious braking, lean right back up on it. Then you've got these power pads at the front which stop you falling off the horse when you're riding a horse, but on a unicycle it'll stop you falling off the front as well when you're leaning right out trying to accelerate like crazy. Yeah, and hopefully it'll be next level comfort. I might be able to have a couple of saddlebags on the side to dangle a few things off that I need to carry with me, like a water bottle and stuff, just like you do on a horse. But yeah, like I said, I'm making it up as I go along, so I don't know how it's going to work out, but I've invested in a second-hand saddle for 120 bucks. I think I'll have enough fun trying to make it work, whether it does or not. Anyway, I might keep you posted and see how far I can get with this project. It's going to take a bit of time. Might get started right here and try and trim this out of here. I'm trying to narrow it a bit here by taking some of this padding out. It's sort of got this hard padding sort of stuff in there, which is, don't really need to have that in there. Pull that out. Make it a little bit narrower. Bent me up a metal strap out of aluminium to fit into here, and I've screwed through the stirrup hangers, the metal stirrup hangers, so that should be a fairly solid mounting point. Hopefully I can mount this on there, drill some holes, get that, clamp that in, then maybe I can weld or bend that up and have some sort of other attachment, but this is my base structure attachment here. On this bit of aluminium strap. Best way to attach to the saddle, I think. So, as you can see, I've cut the stirrup hangers away before I realised that that's the most solid point of attachment for fitting the saddle. Fortunately, I still had a little bit there, enough to be able to tap through a 1 or a 6 M6 6mm bolt in there, and I'm going to attach everything to the underside of that, and I'm assuming that's going to be strong enough because that would have held the full weight off those stirrup hangers. 6 thread there, straight into the stirrup hangers, and so I'll take it a little bit through on the other side, not too much because I'm going to try and fit the bracket in that's going to sit on it. So there we go, just coming through there now. So there they are, both coming through, and I've made up this out of, I think it's 30mm, 32mm by 3mm aluminium. And I've bent it in the bender to hopefully just make it fit nicely there. Geez, I've got a spider coming out of this saddle. Get out of your little basket. Okay. Just going to have to open up these holes a little bit because I haven't quite got the angle of the dangle right. It's a bit too tight, but that's what I wanted. I didn't want it to be too loose, so when I clamp this down I want that to be fully solid, strapped on, and then I'm going to attach, either bend these up, I think I'll just bend those up and round them off and have that as a pivot point there. So I can stitch this back together here. With that on top like that. So we'll do that next, I suppose. I'm taking all the padding out of here so that hopefully you'll be able to squeeze this in a little bit between your thighs, a lot more than you could have. Yeah. So it's coming together, but I'm just making it up as I'm going along. I don't know that anyone's done this before. So I've shaped this mount pretty good. Fits in there. I'm just going to attach 2 mounting brackets or from there down to the top of the unicycle, and that should be able to pivot back and forward a little bit to get the right angle and balance. So coming off here, you can slide it forward or slide it back. Hopefully it'll work. so I think it's pretty much what I imagined. I would have liked to get that a little bit further this way. And I might be able to add to this as well by welding in some sort of a bracket or a carrier or something in underneath there. Well, I've just manufactured this little bracket to go onto this. So I've got the pivot point here for the saddle to slide back and forward a little bit. Get the angle right. And then cut holes for the right depth once I work it out. But this is going to be fairly robust, I would reckon. And it's going to hold it fairly firmly when I clamp that both on there with some lock nuts, so it won't want to move back and forward too easily, hopefully. That's my plan. Just finished welding this one, still pretty hot. Yeah. Welding's aluminium's not so easy, but I think I've managed to stick it together. So there we go. So could be a little bit different angle, but you can always adjust those. I can bend those and tweak them a little bit. They're still a little bit bendable, pliable, hopefully. See how bad the welds are. It's definitely stuck together. Go for the pool noodle mount. See what it looks like. See. Just cut this away and see if I can put that in there and see if that makes a difference. It's just still here sitting too high, it's not getting down in there. That's what I'm looking for. to it maybe. Try again. Let's see how it sits this time. Hopefully now a bit better. Good. I think I have to adjust it down a little bit. It's a bit too high at the front. And too high, so to just drop the front down a bit. But it seems to be. Yep, so I think I'll just lower the top down, maybe cut another hole. Yep, well, the transformation is almost complete. I think I've got the positioning's not too bad. It seems fairly wants to go forward a bit maybe. But when I sit on it, feels pretty balanced to me. I think this could be the goods. What do you reckon? Might have to if I can, It's the Begode Extreme Snowy River version.